station. This is ESA-PO Jules Grandcir. How can you hear me?
Hello, Jules. Welcome to the International Space Station. I can hear you loud and clear.
And I now introduce you to Sabine Scholz.
Hello, Herr Gerst.
Hello, Herr Gerst. I'm very happy to send you greetings from Münster for the Westphalian Peace Prize. Many thanks. That's a great honor for us. Welcome to the ISS. It's wonderful to speak to you. The grounds for the Peace Prize is the collaboration of international partners who are collaborating in such close space. Tell us a little bit about your daily life in space.
Well, before
I even came up here, I was always fascinated by the fact that the ISS was one of the most complex machines and was put together by 100,000 pieces from many different countries. If you just think about this, it seems incredible. If I didn't know for sure it existed, I would say it would never be possible. I would say that it would be impossible. But by now I'm up here and we're working together, and we come from 3 different continents at this time, and it's such a successful working together that I have to find this a wonderful example of how international collaboration and cooperation is possible indeed. And how can we imagine how people from different cultures live in such close quarters from different cultures and countries? It's much easier than you think. You have to keep in mind that the 3 of us know each other, have known each other for years, and we've been working together very closely together, and we've traveled together to different countries, and I know Max and Reed, and I've had the opportunity to show them Cologne and Germany. We've been to America together, and we know the cultures and the countries of each other, and we're very good friends, and it's very collegial and amicable. We know how each other's culture works, and we're tolerant, and we have a lot of fun together. And that transcends all cultures, and it's humor that transcends all cultures, and that's very useful in daily life. We laugh a lot together. Although Max right now is alone in the Russian module, and I've been over there in the Russian module, and we bring each other coffee, or we eat something together, and it's all very convivial. As peaceful and as friendly as it is up there, it's unfortunately not the case on Earth. And there's so many crises here. How intensely are you occupied with the crises in the Ukraine and in the Middle East? In Syria. Of course, we're aware of it, and we all watch the news, and it concerns us a great deal. And it concerns us especially since we can see it from up here. We can really see rockets flying. We can see fires in cities, and we can see the environmental pollution. And it really touches you when you see it from up here, and you see how fragile the Earth is. And you can really see that from up here. And the 3 of us look down together from our unique perspective. And we're all in the same boat up here. And basically, we can just shake our heads in general as we look down. That's the feeling that's overwhelming up here. That we all think the Earth is unique and worthy of protection, and that we really shouldn't have any wars on that planet.
Wenn Sie von da oben auf die Ukraine gucken, wo ja
when you look at the Ukraine and where the Americans and the Europeans have such different positions, do you have instances where your opinions collide? Well, one thing in particular that's important when you live together in the ISS, and we learned that in our training, and we learn to be sensitive, that we have respect for the opinion and culture of the other people without trying to persuade anyone of your own opinion. It's difficult enough on Earth to keep your opinions from affronting others. But we're all clever enough. We try to take a step back and have a different perspective when we're up here, without offending each other. And we're able to look at the Earth generally, at the Earth. Yeah, in a way that's really not possible on Earth. That view that you see, that you describe, this distance of 400 kilometers, has that changed your perspective of the Earth? Definitely. It's changed it. I would not have thought it possible before. I knew, if you just think about the facts, I knew that the atmosphere was thin, I knew that the Earth was unique, but if you see it with your own eyes, it does make a difference. And it did surprise me, I must say, to see it that way. It's very, very fragile. And to see it with your own eyes, or you have to see it with your own eyes, then you really have to digest those views. And I tried to take a lot of pictures and to capture this perspective. And I try in any way I can to bring back this perspective back to Earth, to share it with people. What are your most beautiful and best moments on the ISS, and what are some of the things you could do without? Well, the most beautiful moments are definitely the moments of friendship, when we're all together laughing about a joke somebody has made, and fortunately that happens quite a bit, and looking out the window and seeing things that we've never seen before. I remember when I started, shortly after the start, you have your head full of technical things that you have to concentrate on. And 8 minutes after the launch of the rockets, when the zero gravity starts and you look out the window and you see the Earth as a blue sickle, and you see that curve, and you realize for the first time, I really am in space. And before it was only a dream, and that really threw me for a loop, and that was one of the most grandiose moments for me. Finally, one question from Münster. How does this city in Westphalia look from space? Can you describe it for us? Münster, I think I've seen it once or twice. It's very, very difficult to find because it's not all that populous. You have to look at the forests and the rivers. You have to keep in mind that at the same time I can see Iceland and Turkey, and it just takes a few seconds to fly over Münster. I'm going to try in the next few days to take a picture of Münster, and I'm going to send it to you if I'm successful. That would be fantastic. Alexander Gerst, many, many thanks. Have a wonderful time up there. Your remaining time may be wonderful, and have a safe trip home. All the best to you. We continue to wish our planet, all of us up here wish the planet peace.
Danke.
Thank you.
Station, we now go to the second portion of the event, and I will ask you a few questions on behalf of Exploration, the exploration event in Glasgow. And the first question comes from Ailey, age 10, and the question is, what did you study at school that helped you become an astronaut?
Hello, Ailey. Hello, Glasgow. Welcome to the International Space Station. It's my honor and pleasure to talk to you today, especially since you have an exploration meeting, a conference. I would love to be there, but the second best thing of being there myself is talking to you right now through camera. Now, the question is really good. What did I do in school that helped me become an astronaut? I think it's mainly paying attention to what's going on around you in life, to keep awareness of, what world does, physics, nature, sciences. That's all subject that really helped me in the end for becoming a scientist at first, and then for applying as an astronaut. I think in general it's really good to be curious, and also if you have a plan, if you have a dream, and you give it a chance, try to stick to it. Don't give up halfway, and that's really something that can help you a lot in life.
We have another question from the young Evan Taylor, who wondered how many buttons are in the space station.
You know, that's a really good question because I got a hint that somebody would ask this question possibly. So 2 hours ago, I asked Mission Control if they knew the answer to that question. And since then, they have not come back to me. So I think you've done well. You ask a question that even the famous Mission Control in Houston could not answer. So my rough guess is a lot. Many thousands, and it seems to me like about as many as there are stars in the sky.
And the next question comes from Caitlin Ravenscroft, aged 11, and she wondered, if you could move the ISS to any planet, where would it be?
You know, I really have to say this is one of the best questions that I've ever been asked. And thinking about this, the first thing that comes to my mind is, without even really thinking, why is Saturn? I always wanted to see Saturn, and it would be so fascinating to be in an orbit around the planet that is this beautiful. But then when I think about it a little more, like if I didn't know Earth so well, then I would say, well, by far the most fascinating planet and the most beautiful planet and the most suitable planet for an international space station is Earth. And this is where we are. And if I look out the window, then I really know why. This is a fascinating planet. It's our only home. It's our only place where humans can live. And that's why I love looking at it every day.
Thank you. And we have also the young Jennifer who wondered about food, and she says food must be tricky on the space station. How do you prepare your meals, and do you have some favorites?
Yeah, food is indeed tricky up here. Basically, you always have to prepare it already in the form that you eat it. Like it's not like cooking at home where you mix many things and then you prepare something. Like most of it is already prepared in pouches like this one. So this is just drinking water, but we have like tea and orange juice in these. And then we also have cans that we can just open, and they actually taste quite well. We have dehydrated food where we put water in and put in the food heater, so all sorts of different kinds. Of course, I have favorites. After a while, you really develop that, and you really know what you like and what you don't like. My favorites, it's kind of weird, is granola. We really all love granola up here for breakfast, and maybe it's because we don't have enough that we're all craving that.
That sounds really good. We have another question from Brian, age 10. And he says, when you're in space, in zero gravity, do you ever feel like you're upside down?
Hey, Brian, that's also an excellent question because I did have that feeling. Right after our rocket burnt out on our launch, I felt like this for 3 hours. I felt well in weightlessness. I did not get sick. My stomach didn't feel upset at all. But what I did feel is like I was hanging upside down like a bat from the roof, from the ceiling, in our little rocket, even though I was strapped in. And that went away pretty soon. And then even in here, like if I'm in the Columbus module like right now, and I turn upside down, and I look around, it all seems upside down. It feels unfamiliar. I wouldn't find things. I don't even know where I just put my water bottle. Was it over there? No, actually it was over there. So our brain is used to upside down and right side up. And that is even true in space for some, weird reason. Maybe our human mind cannot adapt that quickly. I bet if sometime a child will be born in weightlessness and be raised in weightlessness, it will be completely different for them. Maybe there will be much better in that orientation in the 3 dimensions that I am right now.
That sounds really fascinating. We have a last question from Jody. He's also age 10, and he's asking himself, can you see all the planets from up on the International Space Station?
Hey, Jody, yes. So I think we can see most of the planets, at least in theory. The ones that are really bright, that are really close to the sun, they're easy to see. Sometimes if they're too close to the sun, of course, you don't see them because the sun blinds you. But then again, up here, it's really nice because once the sun sets, the sky is completely black, even though the sun has just set. So we can even see the planets that are really close to the sun. The ones further out, they're not as bright, but well, in general, we can see them. If we look at the stars, we can see many more stars that we can see on Earth. Like even in the darkest desert that I've ever looked at the sky, was not even close to seeing like the Milky Way up here, and you can see nebulae, other galaxies, and it's amazing. And sometimes you even see shooting stars entering the Earth's atmosphere below us, and that's an amazing thing if you think about it, because like those shooting stars, they just zipped past us and then went right into the atmosphere.
That sounds a little bit scary, Alex. This was the last question. I'm sending you all the greetings from Glasgow University up to the space station.
Thanks a lot. All the best back to Glasgow University, and it was great to talk to you, and goodbye from the International Space Station.
Thank you, station. That concludes the event.
And station, this is Houston ACR. Thank you. That concludes our event.
Thank you, ESA and WDR-TV station. We are now resuming operational audio communications.